Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Young here, and today I'm back in our Fortnite video. And in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys some tips and tricks and showing you guys exactly the best way to get used to new binds and or settings. I know a lot of you guys who are switching between binds, maybe switching over to mouse and keyboard, whatever the case may be. I'm going to give you guys some tips and some things that I do personally whenever I switch my binds, sensitivity, whenever I play on keyboard and mouse. I do play on it from time to time, and just give you guys some tips to help you guys get used to those settings, those binds very quickly. And before we get into the video, I have a V-Buck giveaway. I'm going to be giving away 2,000 V-Bucks. And if you guys want a chance to enter this giveaway, all you guys have to do is to drop a like on this video. Make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel, turn on my post notifications, and as well leave a comment down below of either your Xbox gamer tag, your PSN gamer tag, or Epic account, and you guys will be entered into the giveaway. So make sure you guys do enter if you guys want a chance to win. And alright guys, let's go right to the video. Alright, so here in this video, I wanted to give you guys some tips and also show you guys exactly what I do personally whenever I go ahead and switch my binds, whether I'm switching some of my binds, some of my settings. So sometimes I switch between linear and legacy. It really just depends, because when it comes to those two settings, it really does 100% depend on your playstyle. So I do end up switching between the two decently frequently, not like, every single day, but from time to time I do end up switching between them depending on my playstyle. So whenever I switch things, of course, it is a little bit difficult to get used to the muscle memory, because it does feel a little bit different. So you do have to get used to that aspect, and getting used to it can be a little bit difficult, but there is a way for me to help myself I guess get used to the binds or the new settings, switching between controller and keyboard, especially on keyboard too, because on keyboard and mouse, on the keys, I mean, you have like so many different binds, because on controller, pretty much across any game, I mean, you press the same type of buttons to switch weapons, you press the same type of buttons to shoot, to aim, all that kind of stuff. But on mouse and keyboard, it's completely different. Each bind can be assigned to whatever, and then you have building, editing, all your weapons. It's just a lot more binds, especially for a game like Fortnite. You have a ton of binds that it's harder to get used to. So a very good way to practice, and there's a lot of ways you can do it. Some people do like creative free builds, editing courses, things like that. But I feel like when it comes to like free building, editing courses, and all those kind of courses, the thing is you're really only focusing on one aspect. You're either just focusing on building, just focus on editing. So for me, the best way to help myself get used to, and I guess, yeah, just get myself used to the new binds, new settings that I have, is going to be playing in Zone Wars, or maybe even Box Fight. I like Zone Wars the best. And the reason why I do, because you really want to focus on every aspect possible. So you want to focus on winning gunfights, building, editing, switching between weapons, especially if you go to keyboard and mouse, and just switching between everything that you have, your binds, all that kind of good stuff. But when you hop into public match game, the only problem with that is you're not really running into people that often. Maybe you get like a 5, 6, 7 kill game. But I mean, if you're just switching binds or switching completely everything, it's going to be very difficult to get used to, and you're going to be dying off spawn time and time again. So it's just better off you hop into like a Zone Wars or Box Fight, because that way you have the rounds that are very quick. You're always going to be engaging in gunfights. You're always going to have weapons, rather than just loading up a game, grabbing some weapons, probably going to be dying in the next fight, and it's just like a lot longer cycle, and you're not going to be improving as fast. And plus, when you have box fights and Zone Wars, you have pretty much everything you want to get used to: building, editing, aiming, game sense. You got to learn how to fight close quarters, which most of the gunfights you have in this game are close quarters. Of course, when you play Zone Wars, there is going to be a little bit longer gunfights as well, which I do like. That's why I kind of like Zone Wars a little bit more with new binds, because you have, I guess, a little bit more. You also have a little bit of range as well, and also a little bit of movement, because in box fights, it's really just 100% close quarters. I do really recommend and do really like, but with Zone Wars, I think you have like everything that you could want, and I think that's really one of the best ways to get used to all the new binds that you have, because getting used to new binds is an absolute pain. I get asked all the time, because I know a lot of you guys, last week was just Christmas, and it depends when you're watching this video, but for me, last week was Christmas, and a lot of you guys got Elite controllers, scuff controllers, maybe you switch over to PC. So there's going to be a lot of changes, and you're still trying to get used to all the new binds. Maybe you're still going to end up switching a few in the future, because even for myself, I changed my sensitivity. I don't really change my binds. I've had the same binds since like season 2. I've changed up, like, I changed my editing and pickaxe button, not my editing. I changed my confirm and my pickaxe button, because they put edit confirm on release, so I didn't have to have a confirm button, so I just took it off. and I put on the pickaxe, and then I just moved my confirm for like resets on like a different button, and it worked out very, very good. So that was the only thing I changed in literally like maybe a year of playing the game. I don't change my binds very often, but with my sensitivity, that's something I do change decently frequently. I mean, because when I guess it was pretty recently, maybe like a month ago, for the Legacy, the old aim assist settings, they put the building and editing sense. You can have it up to 5 times. It used to be only the max you could have was 2, but they moved it up to 5 times. So what I did was I ended up raising my editing sensitivity way up. I jacked up to like a 3.2, 3.3 through on edit mode aim assist, and I really do like it. My editing feels very, very smooth, very good. So when they do add changes like this and make me want to switch from linear back to Legacy, it makes it a little bit challenging because I have to get used to the muscle memory, because as you guys know, the two feel completely different, because I mean they are completely different based on like the movement of your analog stick, how it registers, all that kind of stuff. And as well, the aim assist is different, which means you have to change out your playstyle. So when you switch between the two, pretty much everything changes. And when you're trying to get used to that, playing in a public match game, or I mean, you could play 1v1s if you want to. That's not really a bad idea either. But the best way for me, I think, is going to be Zone Wars, just because you have pretty much everything you could want. You quick gunfights, you're gonna have the loot. You're gonna have the loot right off spawn. You have to, I guess, building and editing you can work on, movement, all that kind of stuff, because one of the problems, at least when I play keyboard and mouse, the only problem that I have is with the movement. It's super weird. I mean, you can have double movement binds, which I'm still trying to figure out. But when it comes to the movement, it is completely different. It's a lot less than controller. So if I'm just free building, it's not really that noticeable. It's not really that much of a problem. But when I'm playing Zone Wars, I'm playing box fights, movement is one of those things that you have to really understand and get used to. Otherwise, it's going to be very challenging and very hard to just, I guess, be successful on keyboard and mouse. So I mean, even for myself, I got really, really good at free building and creative with keyboard. Not like insanely good, but I got good enough to the point where I feel like I was comfortable with it. But as soon as I went to Zone Wars into box fights, that completely changed, because the movement, the shots you have to go for, because when you're playing or even doing aiming courses, you basically have a target at, or when you're free building, you basically just have something that's pretty set in stone. You don't have to worry about anything extra. But when you're actually fighting players, and like in a game, Zone Wars, 1v1s, I mean, whatever the case may be, what's going to happen is it's going to be a lot different, because you have to change your playstyle, you have to change the movement, you have to attack a little bit different. You can't go for the exact same builds and the exact same shots. And you don't have all the time in the world to line up the shots either. So it's a completely different aspect when you are switching from just doing the aiming courses, the editing courses, free builds, to actually playing against other players. It's completely different, because then you also have the aspect of, if you get hit for like 180 damage, you have 20 HP, then you do have to think very, very quickly. So getting that muscle memory down can be a challenge, but once you do, the game is a lot easier, and you're going to be very successful at maybe you guys, I mean, I have a few friends that just play Zone Wars all day long, but if you guys actually are, big on pubs or competitive, I think you'll be able to get back into those things just as good very quickly, because getting that muscle memory down, most of the time, even for me, I'm a pretty slow learner. I would say it takes me a good maybe week to week and a half to like really, really have it down. Of course, I would say within like 2-3 days, I'll have it decently. I won't have it like great, but it'll be like decent, like good enough to play on, but it's not exactly where I'd want to be. So for me, it's a good week to week and a half. But if you do follow everything in this video, you play some Zone Wars, you play some box fights, 1v1s, things like that, then you are going to, I guess, speed up the process, and you're going to have that muscle memory down within just a few days, as long as you put the time in. So those are going to be the specific tips for getting used to it, because I get asked that all the time when I'm like on live streams and my videos, because I have a lot of people tell me they just switched to keyboard and mouse, just got a new SCUF controller, just got a new Elite controller, whatever they got, and they're really looking for some tips to help get used to the new binds, because getting used to paddles, even for myself when I got Elite controller back, I think it was like season 2 or 3, it just definitely took me a minute to get used to everything. I mean, I now, of course, I'm used to everything because I've been playing on it for the past year and a half, but getting used to it definitely was a challenge, and a little bit weird at first, but, and also back then I didn't have like creative and all that kind of stuff. It was basically just public matches. So I guess now you have the luxury of being able to play Zone Wars, things like that, to be able to get used to the binds a lot quicker. So with that being said, that's a wrap up for this video. Hope you guys found this video useful. Hope you guys benefit from this video. If you guys could, make sure you guys do drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, turn on my post notifications so you guys are notified for every single new video. And alright guys, I'll see you next video.